Before we start, just a reminder to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Help us get to 30,000 subscribers. Let's talk NFC AFC Championship Game. Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler up at Harvard University, reacting to the Rams-Seahawks, Patriots-Broncos, NFC and AFC Championship games. We're going to have a Seahawks-Patriots Super Bowl here in a couple weeks. Ziggy will both be at the Super Bowl with my brother out in San Francisco. We got a lot to talk about today. Two really fun games. One Snow Bowl basically in Denver. A thriller again. Man, if you can just get more Rams-Seahawks games this year, that would be better for everyone. I want to lead though, and I want to tell you right now, because we are two Vikings fans on this podcast. I am in hell, Ziggy. I am in hell. Yeah, no, I am in hell. Thinking about this Super Bowl matchup now. Sam Darnold versus Drake Maye, the quarterback we had, the quarterback we wanted desperately. Everyone knows at this point, Kevin O'Connell eyed Drake Maye more than any quarterback in that draft class just a couple of years ago. And I'm sitting back here trying my best to not be an asshole watching the Seahawks game. And I'm like, Sam Darnold's just the nicest guy in the world. He's just such an easy guy to root for. And you see him after the game, right? Take it one day at a time. It's been an unreal journey for him. And I'm watching the game as it's unfolding, and I can't help but root for the Rams. I'm like God, I can't see Darnold win the Super Bowl. I can't see it.
You got Sam Darnold. He's got his one elite wide receiver with some other sort of skill position guys around him. They added an aging veteran, a guy sort of at the end of his career. They've got an okay run game. They've got a lights out defense that's aggressive, that attacks the ball. Like, that's us.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I'm watching the two games, and I'm very happy, by the way, the Patriots won. To be clear, Sean Payton getting to the Super Bowl would have been far, far worse than New England.
No, but Paul, you don't understand. If the Patriots win, I will be living in Boston for a Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh, I know.
Do you realize how miserable that will be?
There's no winning. There's no winning this season.
We're done.
But I'm watching Sam today, and there's no way around it. He was brilliant. He was fantastic. Because if the Rams won, the story was Stafford was also great. I mean, the two of them today, absolute quarterback duel. Stafford's 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Darnold 346 and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions between the two of them. This was a heavyweight fight. Counterpunch after counterpunch being thrown. And the whole narrative coming in was, can Sam Darnold play in the big game? Some people felt that he had, I would say, overcome his ghosts in that second Rams game. But if you watch the entirety of that, it was not a game that Sam Darnold looked back on and was proud of. He had a proud drive, right, to win it. But Sam was not good in that game. And a lot of people said, can he do it when it really matters? The lights are brighter than they've ever been. And he was just unbelievable against a team he's thrown 6 interceptions against this season.
With an injured oblique.
Injured oblique. He was so good. And a couple of the drives, the drive at the end of the half with the touchdown to JSN, right, to take the lead going into halftime. The response after LA. So you have the muff punt, which was just, devastating for LA. That's really, you don't want to pin anything on one play. But if you were to circle the moment that everything changed in this game, it was the muff punt. Seattle scores on the next play. The Rams respond. And with a 4-play drive, like a minute comes off the clock, and Stafford 3 unbelievable throws. They get in the end zone, and you're thinking, like this is the moment here. They get a stop, they get the ball back. Stafford's on fire. He's been on fire all day, and Sam takes Seattle on. Let me see what was that drive. Sam takes Seattle
65 yards.
9-play, 65-yard TD drive to go back up 11. And, the third drive that stood out was the one to end the game. The 11-play, 49-yard, 4.5-minute drive with massive third down conversions. I actually thought Cooper Kupp was a little short on that play. I thought the Rams should have challenged it. They don't really get the first down, right? And that pretty much ends the game with the pass interference call that came a few plays later. But Sam was just as good as it gets. And Ziggy, we have to be talking about arguably the greatest QB turnaround in the history of football. I don't know too many off the top of my head that you can look at and say, this is a dude who was, laughed at in New York with the Patriots game when he was seeing ghosts, bounces around the Panthers, right? 49ers backup. And the last 2 years, he's been nothing short of unbelievable.
Well, yeah, it's a totally different situation. The only other case that sort of comes to mind here of a quarterback who was totally cast aside, though, like immediately when he got the right chances in the Super Bowl, is Kurt Warner. But that was just a totally different situation, right? Kurt Warner never really got an NFL try.
Yeah, he
and then when he started with the Rams in '99, he was with them a little bit in '98. But like once '99 hit, he was an MVP, his first real chance in the NFL. Sam Darnold sucked for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
People sometimes wonder, like, what would have happened if the Jets kept Sam Darnold? It would have been a disaster. Sam Darnold was terrible with the Jets. He was mediocre with the Panthers. The Panthers eventually gave up. Like, I don't really know what happened. He went to the Kyle Shanahan rehab school and the Kevin O'Connell school of I'll make you a decent quarterback. And suddenly, Sam Darnold is here, coming off back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons, back-to-back seasons as one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL. And now Sam Darnold, 2 years after his career revival, is going to be playing for a Super Bowl.
No, you can't write it like this. It's unbelievable. And you feel happy for him too, right? I know we're coming out here and I'm saying how this is hell for me. I'm very happy for Sam Darnold. I
cannot imagine how hard it was to be Sam Darnold, to start your career 4'9", 7'6", 210, 4'7", get the crap beat out of you, be hated everywhere you go, and then just find a way to recover, right? Like Geno Smith was sort of able to do it, but Geno Smith was never a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, even when he was okay in Seattle a few years ago.
Over the first 5 seasons of his career, Sam Darnold had 63 touchdowns, and he has 60 in the past 2 seasons. I mean, it's amazing to think about. And right, 14-3 last year, 1 seed this season. I really can't think off the top of my head any QB that's had a turnaround to this degree, right? From, again, laughed off the field when he was a New York Jet to now going to the Super Bowl in year 7. And not just being in the Super Bowl in year 7, but being 28 years old and looking like a top 10 quarterback in football. Like, it's bewildering. Yeah. And then you sit back, Ziggy, and with all this going on, the moment that tears you apart is we had him on the damn team.
Yeah, this is what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers felt when they let Steve Young go to San Francisco because he sucked.
Yeah, I mean that's
but at least that you can say there was like a 5-year gap after he left, right? He was a backup for a while. He didn't get a chance to start.
Sam threw for 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns last year.
I can't take it. I can't go back and watch. I like to go back and watch our videos sometimes.
I'm falling apart here.
I can't go back and watch our videos where we said, I'm happy to try something new.
No, that's how bad the Lions and Rams games were. That is the Vikings curse. If anyone listening out there doesn't get it, this is the curse. He's unbelievable. 35 touchdowns, 4,300 yards. We're 14-3. Surely they will re-sign him. He's so bad in the final 2 games that matter that we decide to let him go.
With Sam Darnold coming out and saying, there's nowhere I would rather be than Minnesota. I want to come back.
And we think it's the right decision. When everyone in the world tells us we're wrong. And then this
What do you and I say? You and I say, we're willing to try something new because we trust our coach. We trust our GM.
Oh,
And, like, you don't know this experience, Paul, but, like, my parents have moved to Sam Darnold's hometown. Every time I'm home, like, you go to any restaurant, Sam Darnold jersey up on the wall.
Well, he's a hero. He's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm sitting there on the meme. We've turned into the meme. Where it's like, that should have been me. What is it? Is it Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know what it is. It's on the ground. He's going, that should have been me. I'm watching the game tonight. Now, if it were the Vikings, obviously something horrible would have happened in the NFC Championship game. But I'm watching the game tonight.
We should be in the NFC Championship.
And I'm thinking to myself, here we are, a 9-8 team with no quarterback.
Our quarterback's run for -3 yards in a game. And we win.
It is It's truly unfathomably sad as a Viking fan. And what even makes it more Viking-esque is that I can't root against Sam because I like the guy. So it hurts watching him succeed. It hurts rooting for him to fail. There's no winning.
Yeah, it's like if Sam Darnold had left under tough terms, right? He'd said, I don't like Minnesota. I don't like this org. I want
He left
out.
graciously. He was the nice guy.
We screwed him over. I mean, I wouldn't say we screwed him over, but like he wanted to come back and we said, no, we don't care if you delivered one of our better seasons in recent years. See ya. And he said nothing bad. Sam Darnold must have been crushed to be kicked out of Minnesota.
We're watching our ex-girlfriend, who was already hot, go on dates with someone else, and she's still hot, and we were catfished. That's what happened to us. We were catfished.
We got 9.
Like we were 9. And I'm still rooting for JJ. The problem with this is everyone involved is so nice. JJ McCarthy's the nicest guy on earth. Kevin O'Connell's nice. Sam Darnold's nice. You can't root against anyone. And you can't be, you don't want to say anything mean about anyone. But like, here we are in just this unbelievably horrible situation. The quarterback we wanted, Drake Maye, that O'Connell wanted, is in the Super Bowl. The quarterback we had's in the Super Bowl. And I can't even be mad at anyone because everyone's just so damn nice. So
you just have to be mad at the world.
You just have to be mad at the world. But look, I'll wrap up because we'll get to, because we're gonna get into Seattle and the Rams here. I will end the Vikings whining because that's what it is. We're whining right now, and you know what? We've deserved the right. What else
can we do?
Yeah, what else can we do? And then, you know what? If people don't like it, I don't care. I'm gonna whine a little more. What I'll say though is this, Ziggy. I'm hard pressed to think of a quarterback under more pressure going into year 3 than JJ McCarthy ever. Because when you look at what happened here, every other option the Vikings could have gone with. Sam Darnold's in the Super Bowl right now, just was the 1 seed. And there were 6 first-round quarterbacks the year we took JJ. Drake Maye's going to be runner-up for MVP, and he's in the Super Bowl. Bo Nix was in the AFC Championship game as the 1 seed. Caleb Williams, the 2 seed this year, an overtime play away from probably also being in the NFC Championship game. Jaden Daniels in the NFC Championship game last year. And then there was Penix and our guy, JJ.
And Penix, at least you can say he blows his knee open every year.
Yeah. And the thing with McCarthy, too, is he's on a Super Bowl caliber roster, JJ. A team that went 9-8 with some of the worst quarterback play in the history of football at points this season. A game out of the playoffs, a team ready to win now, that went all in on you, sacrificed everything, and everyone else is having not just success, major success. So I can't think of too many, because everyone has pressure in year 3. Year 3 is a very big year for starting quarterbacks. But this is a guy who's barely been on the field on a Super Bowl team when his counterparts are all wildly successful. I cannot think of more pressure that could be on a guy to perform at a high level.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of pressure when the Lions ditched Matthew Stafford, and Stafford immediately won a Super Bowl. And like, say we want about Jared Goff, it's not like he's delivered a Super Bowl to Detroit, but Goff has answered that pressure.
But very different,
when I'm playing well, I can deliver games. JJ McCarthy, right? If we have another year we don't make the playoffs, like Vikings fans are absolutely going to be sitting back saying our guy that we ditched is in the Super Bowl. What's wrong with
him? It's a heads need to roll situation. And again, you like O'Connell, you like Kwesi. All these guys are great. I don't know who it would be. We need to take some time to figure that out. But it's such a bad decision that someone needs to pay for it, basically. The Goff thing, I think, is a little different, though, Ziggy, in that, Stafford was in Detroit for a long time. And that was just, it had run its course. That had officially run its course. And it was time to make the move.
I'm not saying they're exactly the same.
No, I know.
It's just, in fact, funny that 2 NFC North teams ditched a quarterback and the next year they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I would say this, like, if things look really bad in Minnesota next year, I'm not going to say Kevin O'Connell has one of the hottest jobs, like hot seat wise, in the NFL. But among coaches who are returning, there's not a lot of guys, I think, who are less secure than him.
I'm not sure where I stand on KOC right now. Kwesi is certainly on a hot seat, and this is a huge offseason to perform. I don't know, man. It's a tough spot to be in. Now, I want to give Seattle some more of their props because, look, they've had a ridiculously good season. And
Yeah, we're talking about Sam Darnold, but the Seattle Seahawks special teams and defense has been unreal.
Oh, and Rashid Shaheed coming over from New Orleans saves again. I think that Rams-Seahawks game when he had the punt return touchdown saves their season. I don't think they go to the Super Bowl if they're not hosting throughout. In Seattle, such a hard place to play. I picked the Rams to win this game. Shaheed has the kickoff return touchdown to pretty much, end the 49ers before that game even starts.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, they traded for Rashid Shaheed November 4th. It's one of the best in-season trades of all time.
Oh, when you look, the impact. And today starts off with the 50-yard catch, and they go up 7-0. An emphatic statement, a way to get Darnold rolling. You heard Brady say it. When you have that big play, sometimes that's just all you need is a quarterback to start seeing things a little bit easier. Now, I don't know what I'm not a quarterback. I don't know, but I'll take Tom Brady's word for it. Just an amazing move there. And then the defense has been the calling card of this team all year. And Mike McDonald, I'm not sure where we're at with him as far as the tiers of head coaches in the league, but we saw how great the defense was in Baltimore with him and what happened when he left. Now he's in Seattle and they're operating arguably the best unit in the league. And I know today the Rams had moments where they looked, just unbelievable. That happens when you have an offense with Puka, Devontae, Stafford, Kyron. But when push came to shove, it's goal to go situation to go to the Super Bowl, and the Seahawks defense stepped up and they got the job done. And
it's not just the way that they step up on defense too. That is one of the best coach teams in the NFL.
Oh, they're great.
Right. The Seahawks, when things break their way, they are always ready to take advantage of it. Right. It's easy to sit back and say the Seahawks have gotten really lucky and they've had moments that have felt lucky. But when they have an opportunity, like the Seattle Seahawks, if you give them an opportunity, they will take it. And that makes them incredibly dangerous.
Jackson Smith-Njigba was great today. The one-handed catch he had was one of the best catches in the league. Cooper Kupp,
he's so good,
was amazing as well. Obviously, that third down play, mate. If the Rams get the ball back, I think they win the game. At that point, they were going up and down the field. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to see it. I would have loved to have seen Stafford versus that defense one more time with it all on the line. Cooper Kupp makes an unbelievable play. Again, I think he was short. But yeah, this Seahawks team has been really well constructed. And when
if you're
Darnold...
Sean McDermott, how mad are you? Like the Seahawks trade for Rashid Shaheed. You can't get any help in the middle of the season at wide receiver. Right? Like, do you think Josh Allen is sitting back here just saying, like, why can't I have a GM like Seattle does?
Oh, well... you're talking about one of the best GMs in the league.
But like Bean is getting promoted. Like if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm saying I want John Schneider.
Well, everyone's saying that. Yeah, everyone wants John Schneider is amazing. When Darnold doesn't make mistakes, they're very, very hard to beat. And he had in the first two times they met. Right? They got away with it with the comeback, and I'm still not a big believer in that 2-point conversion they had. But the first two games, there were big mistakes, and they still had a chance to beat LA. They had a kick on the first game. They beat them in the second one. And in this one, you see when Sam goes for 350 and 3 touchdowns with no mistakes, it's tough to beat a team when they're this good on defense and they have enough playmakers. Kenneth Walker was great, too. The whole Seahawks team. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. Right now, it's hard not seeing them winning right now. It's going to be a great game. It'll be a fun game, but
that's what we're saying right now because the Seahawks are just coming off a win when their offense looks great. I'll say this. We'll be in San Francisco. I don't think there's going to be a blizzard. I think Drake Maye is going to get a chance to throw the football in the second half.
I was ready to come on here. I thought the Rams were going to win throughout. And I was wrong. I
tried to tell you, Paul.
No, straight up, I was wrong. I don't feel bad about that prediction. It was a great game. But I was ready to come on here and talk about Stafford. Again, he goes for 375 and 3 touchdowns.
Stafford was trying to will his way into the Hall of Fame today.
Oh, well, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame at this point. With the MVP here, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. But Stafford was having the kind of game that made you start saying, all right, where is he as far as the top quarterbacks of all time right now? I thought that was the performance we were getting from him. Now, some people were coming out and saying, is Stafford on the same tier as Rodgers or better than Rodgers if he wins the Super Bowl?
People want to completely forget 10 years of mediocrity in Detroit.
I mean, he was always very good, but yeah, once he got to
He was
LA,
not always very good. But
usually he was pretty good. When he got to LA, that's when the evolution happened from Stafford being a very good quarterback to okay, all of a sudden he's becoming a legend. And during this game, when he has the 4th-and-1 run where DeMarcus Lawrence has a shot to bring him down, can't get there, then he has the decision not to throw the screen pass and he pitches to Puka. They get to the 10-yard line. I'm thinking, oh, holy crap! I mean, the second half against this defense, what he's doing right now, it's legendary. It's a legendary performance. And yeah, and it's unfortunate he didn't get the ball back because I would have loved to have seen it. But Matthew Stafford had, just an all-time performance today to me. And that's how good Seattle was too, is that they were able to take that punch. If you told anyone that Stafford had the numbers he had going into this game, you would have thought Seattle's in some trouble here. And that's just how good Sam Darnold and the Hawks were. It was just a great game. I mean, a ton of fun. Very different from the first game. But, what you told me right before we started. Why don't you go ahead, share that, because it was I didn't even realize about the scoring.
Yeah, there was so many fireworks to this game, and the Broncos-Patriots game felt so slow. In the fourth quarter on both games, 0 combined points were scored.
Yeah, it was. It's hard to really think that happened because it felt like the fireworks were crazy. But yeah, these felt
like opposite fourth quarters, right? And the Broncos-Seahawks game, you're seeing teams run the ball on 3rd and 9. And Paul thinks is like the greatest thing ever to happen in football. A game where you just can't throw the ball and a 3-point lead is completely unbeatable.
Come on, man. So I'm looking right here. Yeah, well, that fourth quarter in the Rams game, Seattle punts on a 5-minute possession, and then the Rams have a 7.5-minute drive, and Seattle has the 4.5 minute to ice it. It's like it was very exciting, right? And there were big plays. So it felt like there was scoring in a sense, but yeah, when you go down and look at the finer details of it, it was a 0-point fourth quarter, which is kind of hard to believe after seeing a third quarter with 4 touchdowns combined. It was after the Seahawks punt, it was 4 straight touchdown drives following the muff punt. But yeah, Broncos Patriots wise, Ziggy, the final score is 10-7. I mean, before the snow really started. We're talking punt, touchdown, punt, downs, punt. Like it was a kind of a boring game, and then the blizzard starts, and that to me saved.
This is awesome. And
it's great.
3 plays punt, 8 plays missed field goal, 3 plays punt, 4 plays punt, 6 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 4 plays missed field goal, 3 plays punt. And Paul's like, this is awesome.
How can you not like a snow game when the snow's whipping around
really
like that?
I don't like in situations where teams are trying to win the game and it's a really close game saying, well, it's 3rd and 9. We are incapable of throwing the ball because of the wind and blizzard. So we're just going to run it.
You got to have more fun.
Effectively, once that blizzard hits, you could credibly say, okay, it's going to be 3 and outs for the rest of the game. And that's it. And that's exactly what happened.
It truly was amazing how bad it got. From where it was, because I know snow was in
I don't know. When I don't watch football for the 3 and outs. Maybe you do.
I loved it. I loved every second of the blizzard. The more snow games, the better. And now the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't know. A Super Bowl in the snow would be pretty fun. I wouldn't like it all the time.
I'd like to see quarters of more than 20 net yards.
In the Super Bowl, I'd rather see. Then that's why they do it in domes.
But in the conference championship game, it's fine.
Hey, I mean, I thought it was entertaining. Denver was at home. Was that supposed to happen? I don't remember it.
I don't think it's supposed to be that bad.
No, because I remember we were talking about snow being in the forecast a little bit, but we were arguing whether or not we wanted to see this. But
you said you thought it was super entertaining. What's entertaining about a bunch of 3 and outs where teams can't even punt the ball because it's so windy?
I just loved watching the snow and the wind whip around and seeing how people were trying to adjust to that.
Paul, you can just watch a camera of a blizzard. You don't have to watch the football game to see snow.
Look, I maybe
you just like watching guys slip around all over the field and call it a day. Oh, sorry, we can't even run the ball because our guys are just falling in the backfield.
I enjoyed the field goal the field goal difficulty and guys trying to step up in impossible conditions. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. Now, would I want to see that every single weekend? Probably not every weekend, but the more snow games to me, honestly, the better. It's great. it's great. And you're watching that game though, because obviously we didn't see that coming. I'll need to let us know in the comment section if that truly was in the forecast. Because I thought it might just be flurries. It snowed like crazy here in Jersey today. We had like over a foot.
That bad eventually, but the degree to which it just started.
And Romo said it.
You could see on the cameras, right? In like half a quarter, it went from fine to unplayable.
Oh, Romo said it too. How many games has he been a part of where the switch is that severe that quickly? And they had a great CBS had a really good transition. It might have been quarter by quarter, or it was like 8 minutes of game time where it just showed. Okay, perfectly fine. Starting to get a little snowy. We got a little dusting, and all of a sudden, boom, blizzard conditions. And once it got to that point, I texted a couple of our Patriots friends, Mike and Hayden, who I've been talking to throughout the game. Said, "Damn, right now, with the way it is on the field, and with Stidham at QB, now maybe it wouldn't have mattered with Bo given the weather. It's hard to see them scoring again." And Mike and Hayden were very quick. It's very different when you're watching the game as a fan of the team versus when you're a neutral third party. Although I was rooting for New England. And they were like, I don't know, man. The field the field positioning matters a lot here right now. And it did turn into a game of, all right, how good can the punters be? And I know that I thought you would find exciting as someone who really enjoys punters and special teams play.
You can't punt in that weather either. I'll just say this, man. I'll just say this. If I were a Buffalo Bills fan, it's 2020 in the AFC East. The Patriots are 7-9. You're 13-3. Tom Brady is finally out of town. You're getting ready for the playoffs. You think this could be the year we go on a run. You just beat the Jets 35-8 to end the season. And someone tells you like the next Super Bowl appearance from the AFC East will be the Patriots with their new quarterback.
Oh, you're throwing up in your mouth.
That's nauseating for any Bills fan. Here's what you guys get to do after this, right? It's 2020. You're on top of the world. You get to lose. You get to have a miserable playoff loss after miserable playoff loss. In the year where all your competitors are out, you're going to get bounced in overtime by a team that loses their quarterback. And then the New England Patriots are just going to waltz into the Super Bowl and play Sam frickin' Darnold.
Well, they're like us. The Bills are another team where
that might be more surprising to tell the 2020 Buffalo Bills that Sam Darnold's going to be in the NFC leading the other Super Bowl team.
Dude, you tell the 2024 Buffalo, you tell last season's Buffalo Bills, look at what's happening, and they say, "Are you kidding me right now?" What, they were 4-13 2 years in a row? Vrabel's done an unbelievable job. There's a fun stat here. So he would be the first coach ever to have won a Super Bowl as head coach and a player of the same team. He also is now one of 8 coaches ever who have taken their team to the Super Bowl in the first year as head coach. Ziggy, it would be impossible to me if you could guess this unless you've seen it. If you'd like to have a go, I'll let you do it. Otherwise, I'll just read it off here.
You read it off.
There's just no way. The other coaches were Gary Kubiak in the 2015 Broncos, Jim Caldwell, the 2009 Colts, so both Peyton Manning teams, John Gruden in the 2002 Bucks, who, if you remember, the Bucks actually traded 2 second-round picks and $8 million to the Raiders for John Gruden, who took them to the Super Bowl. That same Raiders team with Bill Callahan as the first-year head coach go to the Super Bowl as well, which is a pretty cool matchup. And then you had George Seifert with the 49ers, Red Miller with the Broncos in 1977, and Don McCafferty with the Baltimore Colts in 1970. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's an unbelievable job from Vrabel, who's clearly come in and his identity is a part of this team. It felt like a Vrabel type of win today, right? Cold, gutsy, not really hard-nosed in the snow Super Bowl or AFC Championship win.
This is not a Mike McDaniel win.
This is not. Oh no, Mike McDaniel and Tua would not have had fun in this game. But it's just, it's a Patriots team that in a season, the Patriots and the Seahawks were 2 teams all year long that we said in a year where there's so much topsy-turvy and you're trying to figure out who's good and who's not. There's big upsets every other week. The Patriots and the Seahawks were 2 teams that just beat the shit out of the bad teams every time they played. And that mattered. That
People
really mattered.
Say, like, you can't tell anything when a team wins by a lot playing a bad team versus a little because a win's a win. You can tell.
Well, absolutely you can tell. I mean, look, the Bills lost a handful of games this year. You said, man, how do you lose that game? You're the Bills. The Packers, how many games did they lose this year where you went, really, this Packers team is losing to the Cleveland Browns? And
when you're executing at a high level week in, week out, that carries over.
Yes, 100%. And the two of them, this is a worthy Super Bowl. It might not be the most exciting Super Bowl in the world for just the general onlooker. I mean, it should be a really good game.
Yeah, I think this might not be the most exciting in terms of team names, but in terms of who's actually stepping up and playing, I think this is one of the more interesting matchups we could have got.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. For football fans, it will be fun. And now you do have the Patriots brand. You had the rematch, right, of the Super Bowl in 2014, I think. Darnold's man, if the Seattle wins, I don't know if I can actually do it. I want to be able to root for Darnold, but I just can't.
I have to. I just cannot be in Boston for a Patriots Super Bowl.
See, I don't care about the Patriots. I've said this before. They were always an ally to me to beat the NFC teams that I don't like. Yeah, is that a loser mentality? Kind of, but my team is a losing team. I would root for the Patriots, okay? When the Vikings lost, it was just let them have all the joy. Now, being friends with some Boston fans and starting to hear them a little more vocal again, that is bothering me a bit. It's just horrible.
Try living here, Paul.
It's just horrible.
Living here.
Well, let me see here.
I remember, I was out at dinner. It was with some like faculty members at Harvard. This guy's a lifetime Patriots fan. He says, I haven't really followed the team since they've started sucking. How are they doing this year? And I said, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And you know what he said? He said, it's about time. It's been too long since we've been there. I feel like we've sucked for years. It's like, do you know how embarrassing that is as like a Vikings fan to hear somebody whose team has won 6 Super Bowls recently say like, we suck. We're the Patriots. Nothing good ever happens. So it's my roommate, John, the first time when the Patriots won, like, what was it? 2014 or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I thought finally my team's over the hump. Like living in Boston, being surrounded by these fans, they're bad for 2 years and now they're back in the Super Bowl. It's just disgusting.
I can't help but think when I watch Boston fans celebrating, it is nauseating in that I look at the life that I could have had and I'm so close, right? I'm so close to Boston growing up in New Jersey, in the New York area. Patriots, obviously, they have this. I'm looking right now. So if I were born, right? So I was born in 1998. If I were a Boston sports fan, I have 6 Super Bowl trophies. I have 4 World Series. I have a Stanley Cup in 2010, and I would have 2 NBA Finals. And on top of that, right? On top of that, just a litany of conference finals appearances as well, other Super Bowl appearances. Like, you understand as a Viking fan, I relish Ziggy, 2009 and 2017, a year where we had our hearts ripped out in New Orleans and got massacred in Philly. I look back on those and I go, man, those were the glory days. Man, I wish we could have that season again. Years we lost the conference championship. These Boston dudes have 13 titles.
It's like in Minnesota, people, they hold on to late 80s, early 90s Twins teams that won a couple World Series, right? Like people are excited to see like the Minnesota Frost have been playing pretty well. They've won a couple of championships, but it's like we're gripping on to the women's basketball and women's hockey because that's all we've got.
Oh, I mean, Ziggy, I'm a loose Devils fan, and I wouldn't even remember when they won. I'm a Yankee fan. I only remember 2009, and that was fun. I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a Viking fan. I'm battered and bruised. And I'm talking to these Boston fans who just they have no clue.
They only have 20 championships among their teams in the past 2 decades.
Disgusting.
So you understand why, like, living in Boston right now, this would be tough for me.
Again, though, look, part of it to me.
Imagine that, like, you have to sit through a Super Bowl parade, and obnoxious fans for a team you find really annoying, including people you live with, just like celebrating a Super Bowl.
No, I get it. It would be horrible. They've won so much that there's a piece of me that just goes, oh, whatever. Like, I know I'm not there. That's very true. If I were there, it's probably different. It's like the Chiefs. You know, the Chiefs won so much.
I hate the Seahawks, right? Living in
I
California,
don't like the
being
Seahawks
an
at all.
NFC West fan for a while. Like, I had to tell my friend, don't be a Seahawks fan. The Seahawks are obnoxious.
No,
I can't stand this franchise.
I just have to root for the Patriots. I have to. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry. Yeah, Drake Maye. I've been thinking about Drake Maye too, because I do love the Drake Maye. May is his nickname. The Patriots fans that I know, Hayden said, right now, I wouldn't trade Drake Maye for Mahomes. I wouldn't trade him for Lamar, and maybe I trade him for Josh Allen. And I kind of sat back and thought, okay, like let's think about this. Drake Maye's 23 years old. I would absolutely trade him for Josh Allen. I would definitely trade him for Mahomes, who is 30, but I would trade him for Mahomes.
I would not trade him for Lamar.
I wouldn't trade him for Lamar either. I don't think you can after this season.
I think the Josh Allen question is closer than you think, too.
The age is the 23. When him being 23, second in MVP, going to the Super Bowl. That is all remarkably impressive.
I think Josh Allen is the better football player and will likely be the better football player when you look at the rest.
Oh yeah. That's not the question.
Drake Maye, you've got 3 more years cost controlled, and he's 23 years old.
He very well could become the best player in football or the best quarterback in football over the next 5 years. Like in 5 years, it's not crazy to think Drake Maye could be the best. I still need to see a little bit more. I know he was awesome this year. I still need to see a little bit more before I'm ready to fully buy into that degree where I wouldn't trade for Josh Allen, who's 29 right now. It's not like, Josh Allen isn't 34 years old. Josh Allen should still be good for a long time. I mean, I might even trade Drake Maye for Joe Burrow right now, which a lot of people would not do.
I'm not.
I know with the injuries. But at least it crosses my mind. Drake Maye kind of reminds me a little bit his stardom, right? Not forget about the way they play and everything like that. His stardom reminds me a little bit of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if that makes some sense, in that he's in a conference with just so many star players, right? You have Mahomes, you have Allen, you have Lamar, you have Burrow, you have Herbert. I mean, you can go on and on here. Same way with Shai, you got LeBron, you have Luka, you have Jokic. I mean, other guys who get all the attention and who everyone talks about. And if you just ask the casual fan, who are you going to start your team with? They're going to name all those other guys, right? Or who do you want for 1 year, right? They're going to start their list with all those other guys. But here he is, leading his team to the Super Bowl, right? The championship caliber team, great leader, does all and says all the right things. He's just been great this year for them. And it's amazing how quickly, when you're in the right environment, things can change for a franchise. And they found it, right? They found their guy. I think Seattle's going to win this game, but you can't count them out.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen in that game. I have to think about it.
Is that a fine comparison to SGA star power wise?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just talking about two guys that you don't really think about. Like they're quiet stars.
Is that like the reason people don't think about Drake Maye is because it's his second year.
Yeah, I just mean the fact that they're quiet superstars, right? MVP caliber players.
Is Drake Maye a quiet superstar?
I think so.
It's his second year, right? It's way too early to say what kind of superstar.
I don't know. Second in MVPs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I just it's too early to say, oh, here's the kind of superstar Drake Maye is, right? The reason people say that about Shai is because he won his MVP in his 7th season. It's a totally different situation. I don't really know why you're comparing them.
I like it. I like the comparison.
Well, of course you do. It's your comparison.
So there you have it. Patriots. Oh, yeah, real quick about the game, though. I did want to say early on in that game, we disagreed on this. I thought it was just bonkers when Sean Payton decided to go for it. It's 4th and 2
4th and
1 around his own 20, around the 20-yard line of New England. They're up 7-0.
15.
Maybe 15, whatever, inside the 20. And they're up 7-0. Now, if he had known that the big snowstorm was coming, I'm sure Sean would have taken the points. I don't know who knew. If
he had known the big snowstorm was coming, he really should have gone for it.
So, yeah, I guess we just disagree on this. He said, and in the post-game interview, Sean said, we had momentum. We wanted to keep it going there. I just thought in a game when you have a backup quarterback playing, who, yes, you're confident in him, but it's still a game where you think the two defenses are going to be the focal points of both sides of the ball, that you want to try and score you want to get as many points on the board that you can basically guarantee, right? Obviously, a 37-yard kick is not guaranteed, but you're in all likelihood you're going to make that kick. Get a double-digit lead, get the 2-possession lead, and you keep the momentum no matter what. Now, they got the stop on New England, but when they punted it back, that's when you saw just the horrendous fumble that, yes, sometimes you make mistakes when you have backup quarterbacks in. Instead, Stidham made a very costly mistake on the fumble. And I just thought if you get the double-digit lead, you feel good. You're comfortable. Your defense is balling out. I hated that decision. And I know you liked
Paul,
it.
This is exactly what I don't understand about this argument. People are saying, well, like, you've got the backup quarterback. You're not sure how many points you're going to be able to put up. The Broncos never had a better chance to put up points than being at the 14. They never had a better chance to get a touchdown. And if they converted that and got a touchdown, that would have been enough points to just win the game right there. Honestly, if that game goes into overtime, I have a very hard time seeing the Broncos winning that game. Like, when you have a backup quarterback, when you think we need to rely on our defense, we don't know how many points the offense can put up, you want to take every chance you can take to get a touchdown. And if you can't get 1 yard when you need 1 yard, you're going to have a hard time putting up points for the rest of the game. And that's exactly what we saw. The Broncos basically had no chance to score again for the rest of the game outside of that one field goal opportunity off the ridiculously bad punt because of the weather.
No, and I understand. I get the logic, and I don't want to use weather as a tool here because it's not something that people saw coming.
You can't go into the game saying if we just get to 10, we're gonna win.
I know. But
that's exactly what you want them to think.
I felt in that position with the way the game had played out early on, to just get the points on the board and you keep everything moving in the right direction. Because after that, I mean, the Broncos offense didn't do anything again. Now,
the rationale for how the game's gone up until that point is I think the offense is going to keep moving the ball down the field, so we'll take the points. And that would have been dead wrong.
It would have been dead wrong. But the way they had played so far, Stidham looked good. He looked decent enough. I want to get the lead. I want to keep the lead. And I want to keep the momentum. I get Sean Payton saying we had momentum on our side. You lose momentum when you don't get that play. And we've seen a lot of coaches be very daring in these playoffs. I thought Ben Johnson going for it in the Packers game should have cost them the 4th and 6 from his own 32 was the worst call of the season. And I don't know if it's a Dan Campbell effect. I don't know why. I know it's analytically driven.
Well, no, going for it on 4th and 6 here on 32 is not.
No. I'm not talking about that play. I mean the more 4th down attempts that we've seen. I do think that there is a feel for the game part that comes into things. I get why Sean Payton did it. When he went out there, was I saying this is beyond idiotic? No, but I thought to myself, I'm not sure about this. And Romo said it too, and ultimately it wound up being very costly. So look, he rolled the dice. He didn't get it. So be it. But it was clearly one of the most important plays of the game. And, both these games really turned on the 2 turnovers. The Stidham fumble, which should have been a touchdown for New England. I don't know how you don't let that play carry out. And the Seattle fumble on the punt. The LA fumble on the punt. Those were the 2 turning points of both games.
Yeah, what I want to say is if people are saying it's a low-scoring game, you have a backup quarterback, and that's why you should kick the field goal, that doesn't make any sense. If you don't trust your offense, you should go for it on 4th down there. It's only if you do trust your offense and think we're going to move up and down the field, no problem, that you kick the field goal.
I think when I'm saying you have a backup quarterback, it's that Stidham's playing well and putting points on the board keeps the mojo going. It keeps everyone confident. It's like, okay, that was a positive drive. Because when he gets blown up on that play, That's the first bit of negativity that was inserted into the Denver offense. And I don't know if that's the reason that anything else happened, but from then on, they were horrible. And I look, maybe it's not any different if they do convert and they score a touchdown. Maybe the Denver offense struggles.
Yeah, but it's like people are saying things like points were going to be really hard to get today. That's why you go for it on fourth down, because you might never get, and indeed they never got another chance to get a touchdown.
The flip side to that argument is, yes, you do have the chance, but when points are important, getting points is even more important then.
Yeah. This is your only chance to get 7 for the rest of the game.
But you don't know.
It's, again, if your argument is that the Broncos should have believed in their offense, so they should kick the field goal, that makes sense. But saying points are really hard to get, so you just take the field goal and hope magically this offense that we think isn't good is going to be good again, that doesn't make any sense.
You're saying points are hard to get, so in a game that may come down to a point or two for any reason, right? You're down 7, you're down 8, you're down 3, you're down 4, whatever it is, having those extra 3 points on the board may wind up being really useful late in the game. So yes,
having 7 points on the board would have been even more useful.
But you know what was even less useful was getting stopped there.
You're right. If you know you're not going to get it, don't go for it.
Yes, I know I can't say that.
You can't think about these decisions and did they get it or not. You should think about what do we believe about the offense and what does this tell us about what we should do. And if you believe the offense is going to struggle and there's not a lot of opportunities for points, when you're at the 14 and you have to get 1 yard, you got to take it.
Yeah, I see. I'm not just on the other side. I'm on the side of if you're in that position, you have the chance to go up double digits, give your whole offense a win where you could take it, right? When you're trying to ease Stidham into this game and he's playing well so far, take the positivity, keep it going. And in a game where you expect your defense to be able to hold New England to, probably under 20 points, those 3 points may come back to be really valuable. So again, it's not the worst decision in the world. We have differing views. I get that you don't like my logic.
Well, yeah, there's arguments you could give that make sense, and
I think my argument. I think that my argument makes sense. I think people will understand my argument. Now, look, maybe it's unwise to battle a UVA Harvard-esque philosophy doctor soon, but that's what I'm doing, and I will now use hindsight as an ally and say, clearly it cost them, Ziggy. So, no, it was about 2 great games today. Sean Payton extends his streak to 17 straight seasons in which he is unable to reach a Super Bowl in a year where he did not execute properly a bounty against the team he's playing in the championship game so who knows, maybe there was a bounty.
I have one final question for you, Paul, before we move off.
Yeah.
So the 2017 Patriots, do you remember the path they had to the Super Bowl?
Hold on. 27, the Rams year?
The year the Patriots
beat the Rams, right?
2017.
That's the year they beat.
Oh no, that was the Eagles.
Is that the Eagles year?
That was the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl.
So, yes, you're right, because that's the year that I wanted Philly to lose more than anything on earth, and of course, that was Jaguars in the AFC Championship Game. Divisional round, they were the 1. Pittsburgh lost to Jacksonville in the 2-3 game. New England, who did they beat that?
They played the Marcus Mariota Titans.
I was going to say Tennessee. I thought it was Tannehill, though. That was the Mariota team. Yeah.
Was that easier or harder than the path the Patriots had this year? Where admittedly they had to play 3 games, but they got playoff Herbert, playoff CJ Stroud, Jarrett Stidham.
That's a good question.
Because hey, man, that Blake Bortles Jaguars team was hot.
The Titans was a gimme. That Jaguars defense was unbelievable. That was probably the best defense of the 3 between Houston, Denver, and that Jacksonville team.
Yeah, Miles Jack, Jalen Ramsey, Dante Fowler, like that defense was just unreal.
they were sick. I mean, that game was over. They should have won that game. That's when I sat back I think they were up 10 in the fourth quarter, right? And that's when I sat back with the Vikings being favored in Philly, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, we are about to get the Jacksonville Jaguars at home because we were hosting in the Super Bowl. That was the closest I've ever been to believing the Vikings would win the Super Bowl. And then
You found out why the Vikings will never win a Super Bowl.
In classic Viking fashion, I got my teeth bashed in. Yeah, it's tough. I would have to say, though, the extra game and being on the road, probably this year was harder. But
it's so ridiculous the paths the Patriots get to the Super Bowl.
Look, I mean,
when you're the
win the
Minnesota
games.
Vikings, you have to face Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, we had a backup. I mean, we had backup Nick Foles.
Like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but like before, in the scene where they like don't know how to work together yet, and they're all fighting each other.
Yeah, I mean, we did have backup Nick Foles, who just happened to become Thanos. But yeah, look, I mean, that's the tale of these teams. So, all right, we'll wrap it up there. Yeah, it really was a cupcake year for New England, but they've won.
New England's played one good team this year, and they went 1-1 against.
Bo Nix was the only piece of this that I went, yeah, that's a little cheap. You know, they beat the Chargers, they beat the Texans. I know Nico wasn't playing, but Bo was the first time where I went, yeah, okay, a little cupcake there. But look, you play the teams in front of you, and they've won. So congrats to New England, congrats to Seattle. It sucks.
Yeah, New England gets to play their second good team of the year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, if they beat Seattle, I think everyone will go and say they were worthy champions. So the opportunity's in front of them. All right, Ziggy, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for hopping on. I'm sorry. I know some people wanted this to be a live show. It just wound up being a little easier to record between me and Ziggy offline. I was actually ready to go before Ziggy texted me last second. I was like, I'm on Zoom. I was like, okay, let's go. So again, if you haven't caught our video this morning, we reacted to Jonathan Gannon signing as the Packers defensive coordinator. And it would really help us if you liked, commented, and subscribed to the channel. We'll see you soon.